A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant political move, Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto has decided to cancel his planned trip to China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, citing escalating domestic unrest as the primary reason. This decision comes on the heels of violent protests that have swept across Indonesia, particularly in the capital Jakarta, where demonstrators have voiced their dissatisfaction over lawmakers' financial perks and the tragic death of a motorcycle driver due to police negligence. The protests, which began earlier in the week, have seen a dramatic escalation, resulting in several regional parliament buildings being set ablaze and clashes with law enforcement. Prabowo's spokesperson, Presidio Hadi, announced that the president would remain in Indonesia to monitor the situation closely and seek effective solutions to the unrest. The protests have been fueled by deep-rooted discontent regarding economic issues, including low wages and rising costs of living, compounded by a perceived lack of empathy from lawmakers towards the struggles of ordinary citizens. The unrest represents the most significant challenge to Prabowo's presidency since he took office nearly a year ago. As the situation develops, the Indonesian government has also taken measures to address the spread of misinformation on social media, which they believe has exacerbated the protests. TikTok, a platform owned by China's ByteDance, announced a temporary suspension of its live feature in Indonesia as a precautionary measure. The protests have sparked widespread anger, particularly after the death of 21-year-old Afun Kurniawan, who was killed by a police vehicle during a demonstration. This incident has galvanized public outrage, leading to further protests across the nation, including in cities such as Yogyakarta, Bandung, and Medan. Experts suggest that the government's failure to address the underlying economic issues and the lack of accountability for law enforcement actions have contributed to the growing unrest. As public anger simmers, more protests are anticipated in the coming days, with calls for students and workers to unite against the government's perceived indifference. The situation remains fluid, and the international community is closely watching how President Prabowo navigates this pivotal moment in his administration. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.